Everyone, meteorologist Robert Spetta here with you today. It is currently the 30th of July, 2016. We have our latest tropical depression. This is Carina, just off the eastern seaboard of Luzon, pulling off towards the northwest. At this time, the Philippine Meteorological Agency, Bagasa that is, issued Signal Force 1 for southern Luzon, extending down through Samar, but make no doubt about it, areas towards the north are definitely going to feel the effects of this as we go ahead into Sunday and Monday, and also down here towards the southwest, not so much directly associated with the center of the storm, but some of that moisture inflow is going to be impacting parts of Palawan and across much of western Visayas heading over the next several days. So let's get into this. A little bit of a closer look on the infrared imagery. You can definitely see the center of circulation really flaring up. That's this big ball of convection right in the middle here, just lingering off the eastern seaboard of Samar. Now, there is a lot of radio outflow here, so you have a lot of convective storms extending back towards the north across southern Luzon, out here towards the west as well, and even northern areas of Mindanao. The good news is southern Mindanao definitely seeing a little bit of improvement, but there is some convection kind of coming in from the back end. The Philippines definitely already feeling the impacts of this, and that's bad and good news. Bad news is you're looking at heavy rain, that chance of some flooding and maybe even some landslides as we look ahead. I'll get to the rainfall accumulation here in a second. The good news, it is interacting with land because this has some pretty good outflow. I think if this storm, here's the Philippines, if this storm was over here, for example, with this upper level dynamic, the sea surface temperatures, we probably have a totally different situation on our hand, a possibility of a very strong typhoon prior to landfall. But since this is already kind of interacting with the landmass here, that should keep it at bay, making it maxing out at least a tropical storm, severe tropical storm, before it does come on shore here in northern Luzon. The Philippine Sea does have a tendency to rapidly intensify storms, but this is what it's showing you in the upper levels. This is about 100 to 250 millibars in the blue wind barbs here, and you can see this has some big lungs. All this outflow going away from the storm, and that really is indicating us some pretty good exhaust aloft. Not to mention all the moisture in the upper levels this is carrying with it too, just pulling it in from the southwest monsoon. You can see all that moisture kind of swirling up here over the Philippines. Question is, where is it headed? How strong are we going to get it? Well, the key thing to keep in mind, as I said, we do have that monsoonal flow with all that moisture coming into the storm. So this is the center line of it. Now, this is where you're definitely going to have some of the most impacts. But remember that even further down towards the south here in the parts of Manila, Visayas, you're still going to see the impacts as we go ahead through the rest of Saturday, maybe even the Sunday morning. But take a look at the forecast here. JTWC expects this actually to intensify to a typhoon prior to landfall. Winds about 65, gusting to 80 knots, actually just moving overhead, 65 gusting 80 knots, just over there towards the Cagayan region before coming on shore south of Apari. Now, this entire area is exceptionally rural, so that would be actually fairly good news. The big thing is further inland, you do have some of these inland cities, and they could be seeing that big threat of flooding. Let's take a look at the whole total rainfall accumulation. Exactly what I'm talking about over the next 72 hours here. So this is the ECMWF model. Here's the center of your storm pulling off there towards the northwest, right? So you have all that rainfall associated with that. But see, this is that moisture flow I'm talking about with the southwest monsoon. So really the heaviest rain could be down here towards Visayas. Manila definitely going to see some showers. And of course, northern Luzon. Big thing out here, definitely in the mountainous terrains and in these inland cities, you could be seeing the threat of some low-lying flooding, but the mountain roadways, chance of some landslides. And I think that's going to be one of the bigger threats out in that area. Look now at the extended range. Well, as we go ahead through Saturday and Sunday, like I said, this is going to continue to come on shore here in northern Luzon, that moisture flow coming around it, and then eventually track off here towards the northwest. I know some of the models were actually shifting the general center of circulation over there towards Taiwan. More and more today, leaning towards a northwesterly track, actually closer towards Guangdong province, including the city of Hong Kong. ECMWF a little bit ahead of the JTWC forecast. That's why there's a little down here in the center of circulations displaced. And really, you're going to expect that as we go ahead out to about 3 to 4 day forecast. The forward speed of a storm, actually, one of the harder things to forecast, as well as the intensity. But this coming on shore right around Hong Kong, the JTWC keeps just towards the west. I think they're just kind of playing it safe since that is one of the major metro areas, and JTBC is U.S. military, so they kind of keep it closer towards where there could be boats. A lot of boats pull into that area, so it's funny how sometimes that might play into the forecast. Perfectly reasonable given this disparity we have been seeing in numerical guidance the last several days. This is the GFS, by the way. Really, this one actually takes it even closer towards Hong Kong. And GFS has actually been fairly accurate the last several seasons, I feel. I know some other people may disagree with me, but I think this model has been doing quite a good job. So this actually pulls off there. I think its intensity has been relatively low in previous passes. We have a track record of running low on intensity forecasts. This shows about 1,000 HPA coming on shore. That would be a weak tropical storm around Hong Kong. But I think, yeah, if this does re-intensify over the South China Sea, we could be looking closer towards a typhoon. So something to look at in the long range. For now, though, it's all eyes on the Philippines, northern Luzon. How is this going to be impacting out here? If you are being impacted by this storm, let me know in the comment box down below. Once JMA does upgrade this to a tropical storm, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it at the beginning of that, it's going to be called Nida. That is a Thailand name for a young lady. It's just a common name. So right now, Carina out of the Philippines, and going to be called Nida once JMA does upgrade it. All right, guys, stay safe out there. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you have a good, safe weekend.